Starting my recording now. So again, thank you everyone for joining. Today we have quite a lot of friends and partners from different countries. We have partners from South Africa, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Netherlands, Germany, El Salvador, Colombia, Peru, and United States. If I miss out anyone, I do apologize. I'm just going on the list of those who have registered with us for today. But please feel free to join in. If you have any colleagues who wants to join, please feel free to do that. Okay, so I will start with start my presentation. So this webinar is about the system that is specifically for COVID-19 life occupancy tracking. FootfallCam, as many of you have worked with us already before, some for quite some years. We have always been providing people counting for a lot of retailers. We have also been providing occupancy counting and analysis for many venues like exhibition center, offices, and also where there are big crowd for crowd control. So we have always been doing this kind of data analysis and providing the occupancy control for many different businesses and also organizations. So now with this current pandemic, it is a special requirement, but we are able to quickly put together a system that is working. So the system itself has actually been trial and tested in the field. What is different for this specific COVID-19 one, it is a display at the entrance. So in this webinar, I will be going through how does the product work, what are the benefits, who are the potential customers. It may be a bit different from your usual customer base, but this would then open up quite a lot of opportunity to different industry. And how do we target each different industry? I will share our experience and also some of our other partners, what they are finding, how it's best to target these different industries, and sharing some sales and marketing techniques. So this is this system is helping businesses to comply with the social distancing. So many governments have imposed social distancing regulation to try to obviously contain the spread of the virus. Many businesses have resorted to assigning security guards. This is the first response that they get to. It's either security guards or their own member of staff at the door. Now, as we all know, this manual counting is costly and inaccurate. The reason being inaccurate is that the personnel will have quite a lot of things to take care of. They obviously will have got to deal with the customer who are queuing there, letting them know whether they can go in or they have to stay and explain why they have to stay there, and also keeping a count or an eye on how many people are still inside. It is very easy to lose count, and if they have multiple entrances, then you're talking about multiple personnel deployment, and the communication between the different doors could be tricky. So, and also at the end of the day, although it is so costly that the company have spent, they still do not provide any evidence for compliance. So this is where a lot of our partners have come to us because their customers have been requesting a system like this. So the market is requesting a system like this that where we're calling our system a safe occupancy tracker system. It is a people counter. It counts real-time occupancy in your building, and it provides a control traffic light. So at the door, you will have a green light to signal customers to go in, or you can have a red light. I'll probably show this is a GIF. So for example, now you have 2 person, the 3rd person, 4 person, 5 person. Now you have reached your limit, then it becomes stop. So this is where it then become a automated system to control the customer. So you do not have to deploy a staff there. Customer is being asked to go in or stay with the signage. So it is automated. It is also accurate. because with this is a proven technology, and you will be provided with a accuracy audit. We actually verified our counting accuracy. And also it is accountable. You will have the live dashboard, staff alerts, and management reports at the end of the day to show as an evidence, and also for the company to plan, to have some action plan, so they can do, if they are breaching the capacity, what can they do? So at least they have some data and see what they can act on. So this is what it will be looking like. So you put a camera, many of you have already installed quite a lot of them. So you put your camera at the entrance. So then this will then count the in and the out. So briefly, it will be the number of people coming in minus the people going out. Then you will be left with the occupancy inside your building. And then an on-site display, the screen will then control the incoming traffic. You will also have an alert that sent to the staff, if anyone is breaching that. So for example, some customers may choose to ignore the sign and just sneak in, but your staff will be alerted so that they can take timely action. We also have a website widget to put it on your customer's website so that they can influence the customer's visiting time before they make the journey to the store. I will talk a little bit more about that. So this is, you put your camera at your entrance. This is how you look down. So this is like a supermarket. So this is the sliding door. You see people coming in with their trolley, and this is our counting zone and the counting line. We do all this for you. Many of you are familiar with this, but for those who are new, this is what we provide. So you install the camera and we will do the configuration for you. This is included. So this is 1.9, this person. So we actually measured his height. So this is a person with his height coming in. So that's how we count. I will show you this video. So it's clicking on there. So I'll just briefly show you how that works. So take, for example, this is an entrance. So now you have this is going out and this is coming in. So as person come in, it will adds up. So this is the capacity. So now the next one comes in, capacity has reached. So it's a stop sign. Now there's one person going out and then another person come in, obviously then it reached the capacity. Now this live occupancy venue, the dashboard, I play this again just because it was too quick. This dashboard, it will be for the store manager or the security guard, if they still have security guard, to look at. So it is being updated every second, so then they can keep an eye on their occupancy. Okay, so continue back to my slides. So it is above 95% accuracy with a wide coverage. So usually this is a double sliding door. You can literally see it will, at a height of about 3 meters, you'll be able to cover a width of 3 meters. Roughly speaking, we do have a calculator for you to calculate how many cameras that we'll need. It is a very long durability. We have a mean time to failure of 25 years. It is a very quick and easy installation. You only need to run one cable, Cat5 or Cat6, and the system is over power over Ethernet. We provide you with the PoE injector, or if your customers have a PoE PoE switch, then it can plug straight into their Cisco switch. It is plug and play. And we provide complementary installation support and also the fine tuning and accuracy verification. So now this is the automated live display at the entrance. So you install the camera at the entrance. We start the in and out counting. Then at your entrance, you will have a screen like this. So it changed from green to red. And it also comes with an audio warning. So when it's red, you can display an alarm, or you can display a recorded audio. So recorded audio could be like, we say that the capacity is now reached, please wait, something like this. It is a real-time update of less than 1 second. This display, you can also translate it to different languages, you know, your local language. We do need you to provide us with those translation, but it should be quite straightforward because you don't want to display too many text on there. You want it to be very clear, short and clear. A very short and clear message to them, but you can provide us with the translation. We have already translated to many languages, but you may want to display just the specific message on there. And again, as we say, if the customers are ignoring that and they are coming in, we have an alert. So it can be an alert to their phones, to their smartwatch, to their iPad. It could be an email, so that they can take timely action. We also have the live occupancy monitor. So the store would have a different display so that they can see throughout the days how are their occupancy level are and what is it currently, when is it, you know, how many % of the capacity has it reached. So it is available via the app notification, Telegram, email. So this gives, it makes the business operation easier, so that the staff will only need to do something when the capacity is breached, so that normal at all the other times, then they don't have to worry about going to the door. But an alert is important for them so that they know that they're not just leaving it to the customer to comply. They know that they can take action if they need to. I will talk later about, we actually have, I'll come back that later also. So we do have some reseller and also some customers that they are wanting to actually control the electric door, the electric sliding door. So from the camera, we can actually have an IO pin as a relay to connect to the electric door, so that when the capacity is reached, the door is actually closed and it won't open. So you can choose to have that level of control as well. So this is the package. So it is an all-in-one package. We sell you the hardware, and you and your customers, it comes with a lifetime license to our software. So our software includes the live dashboard, the staff alerts, and the management reports. You also get the app. So this is part of the live dashboard. So a live dashboard on here, as well as on the one that is for the store manager to see. So this app is also free to download. You will get your login for that particular store. So this is the pricing, our pricing to you. You probably be at a different tier and the different volume pricing that you would get. So it is the usual price that we sell it to you. So please bear in mind though, this is a newer model. So if your customers have already installed some of our previous, our previous model that is doing all the people counting, you're able to upgrade it for them. We do charge for the upgrade because we will need to do a firmware upgrade, and we need to install the occupancy module in there. And also there are some setup configuration that we will need to do. There are quite some work to do. The upgrade will be around a $60 USD, around that price. So that is per camera, per upgrade, but it's only just a one-time. Many of you have worked with us. You realize that we do not charge software, so there's no monthly subscription. The Android tablet app is free. The live dashboard, they're all free. This is our recommended price. This is the manufacturer suggested retail price. This is what we feel from our resellers, from the market response. This is what the retailers, those retail shops and all those government department, they are prepared to pay. We do have some partners who are selling it at a lower price. but they find that the margin is good, even at a lower price. But this is a good price that you should be comfortable at selling. This is what they're prepared to pay on there. So now we talk about the display. So we talk about the camera, which is doing the counting, and the software that it comes with it. By the way, is cloud-based software. Again, we can talk later if some of your customers wants to install it on your own, on their own server, or if you want to install it on your server. So that is that it can be arranged as well. But you get access to this cloud software. And then now we're talking about the option of how you display it at the entrance. So there are a few options. The first option, the package, is that you provide them with an Android tablet, or they already have some Android tablet that they want to repurpose, they want to use it. So they just download that app. We will provide you with a link to download that app. They will then log into that specific store and it will start displaying. Again, it is a live display. You will need an additional stand, you know, those freestanding not bracket, it's a stand so that it can stand in the middle, or if they want to install it on the wall. So that we don't supply this, so you will be supplying that. This is how it will look like, the connection. So our camera will connect via the PoE to the router and then going onto the internet to the server. Now the tablet usually then is at the door, which is next to our camera. We will use a Wi-Fi to connect up to the people counter. So apart from charging, where obviously with an Android you can charge it up and then it can be used for a few hours. Apart from the charging, it should be then standalone without any requirement for cabling. So you'll be using the Wi-Fi directly connecting to the to our camera. Then you would not need to connect to the store Wi-Fi. Okay, so our counter will act as a proxy. So a second option will be our Magic Mirror, which is a digital signage. Or any digital signage that comes with a computer, or you can, or some stores might find that I have an old computer that I want to put it at the door. So, you know, we do have customers who just put an old computer at the door and you can display that. But we do sell, this is our product, is a Magic Mirror 24-inch. So we do sell that. Because with this one, some customers would think that if I invest in an Android, although obviously Android is much cheaper, then I may not have a use case after this. But if it's a signage, I always have a use case, because any stores, they need multiple signage. So, and they do invest in digital signage. So this again is a plug and play. This digital signage comes with a built-in computer, with a built-in webcam, so that it does a lot of all those analytics and all those like virtual makeup, all those interaction with the brand. If you have just joined, please can you mute your mic? Yes. And the setup will be like this. So with the camera connecting with the cable to the switch, to the router, and then you have your your display connecting to your router. So it's all networked up. And obviously your computer, you can connect to it to access to the live dashboard. Now, then with the third option, we have also been asked many times with this requirement that they have some monitors already. So they might have a big screen, a big TV screen, a 40, 50-inch TV screen, or they have a digital signage that doesn't have a computer built in. So the digital signage is like a monitor. So because you need your screen to go online to download that display, literally you need to be able to go on a browser. So we can supply this. So we supply this at $200 US. We call it a mini computer. So it is a mini computer, very small, about the size of your palm, and you can just then screw it at the back of the monitor, or Velcro it at the back of the monitor. It's very portable and very lightweight. You do need to provide power to it, and with the HDMI cable to the monitor. So you stick it behind the monitor. You can connect Wi-Fi to our camera, or you can run a Cat5 cable, because it does have a port. It's not showing here, it's at the other side. So you can connect a Cat5 cable to the router, or you can use a Wi-Fi connecting to our people counter, just like the way that the tablet will do. Yeah. So this is the different options, the 3 different options of how you would want to display it. So, and then, you know, apart from the dashboard for the store, you will have reports. So similarly, like our people counting, where we provide lots of your branch level report, company level report. With the occupancy, we are also providing you with those reports. So for example, then they can then look at that. So they can look at the hourly branch. This is a heat map of the different hour occupancy. So store manager will be able to look at it and say, when are the hours that we are more prone to breaching the capacity? Then they can plan, they can have some actionable plan so that they can put in place of how to improve that. Because without a report, you wouldn't be able to improve upon it. So obviously then that is also an evidence to provide should they need it in the future, because a lot of company now, they are obviously literally at the moment just quickly adapting to it, but at the back of the mind, especially those high level, the top management, the CEO and directors, at the back of the mind, what they're most worried about is litigation in future years. What if someone contracted the virus in their store because they breached the social distancing regulation? What if at that point they just have a little bit too many people being accused of not exercising that social distancing regulation? This is where we say, and they're very worried that they deploy security guard, they have spent so much money on there. At the end of the day, they do not have evidence to back themselves up. So this is where you have the report. Obviously they will have at points where they breach it, and they will then be able to action upon. It is a report and evidence they choose whether or not to use it. So in this case, you know, many false litigation can be avoided, because then if they've said, we have already deployed this system is 98% accurate, they can provide with the verification reports as we supply them, and say, well, this is a very accurate system, and we have found that our occupancy at that particular time when you visited is already within the regulation. So this is already the, we have already done our best, and you have the evidence to show that. So this is something that, you know, an unfortunate thing obviously happened. So this is a way to show that they want to feel that, you know, I have peace of mind with that. And also a widget on the website. Now, this is something perhaps many have not known, but we have got a lot of requirements from our customers that they have always been thinking of having some sort of a traffic visitor count on their website. It's like a Google. So if you search for a certain store in your area, for example, you're looking for a supermarket in my area, sometimes Google will tell you which store, and then it tells you how busy it is at that spot. So that is Google. But a lot of retailers, they like to have their own one. So this is where it will put it on their website. It is provided for them. It's not, there's no charge. So their web designer can quickly add it onto their website. It's a complete widget, all set up. So customers can go to the website and look at what is the traffic now. So for example, I'm checking on their website now, and this is my current time. I'm seeing that the occupancy at the store is nearly the limit. And then, but I see that 2 hours later, it is predicted to be much lower. then I might decide that I will come in 2 hours later. And this is what the store wants as well. They want to influence the customer traffic so that they don't all come in at when they are peak. When they are peak, they can't let so many customers in anyway. They are not necessary, they're not actually making more business, but whereas when they are during their quieter time, they want to welcome more customers on there. So they're wanting to stagger their visiting time. So this is a proactive way to, so that you kind of like try to influence your customer before they leave their house. It is also a good way to manage customer expectation, because if I see that and I still desire to drive 10 minutes to go down to the store, I kind of already expect to queue. So this is a way to manage them, thereby improving the customer's experience. Rather than I come down and have a shock of such a long queue. So this is a very quite a very useful tool for that. Now, of course, this is the actual data. With this is the predicted one based on historical data, based on last week this time, and also getting influence from this week, because this week might generally be 50% more than last week. Then we will adjust that prediction. So we're predicting the rest of the day and also tomorrow, so that customers can have a look before they travel down. Now we do integrate. I think we have done some already for some of you with your customers. We do a lot of integration because businesses do want to integrate. Some of our resellers who are system integrator who already have their own product, you probably would like to integrate with your product as well. So we already have the API ready. Our API looks like this, which when you need it, we can share that with you. So in here, so that you can integrate, so it is a document like this, so you can get the data by push, by pull from our server or from our camera to any of your software. So we have sample codes, the scripts already ready. So we obviously help your customers during the integration period as well. But this is something that is available, and we provide that to you. And additional features, this is controlling automatic doors. So we have requirements for controlling sliding doors going into the building. We have also requirements controlling doors on the inside of the building, so that even though people are allowed into the building, they may not be allowed into certain rooms because that room is full. We have also integrating with barrier for cars, for vehicle into car parks and all that. The benefits, because it is affordable and is easy to install, and it is an all-in-one package. So all the hardware comes with the integrated software. So it is already a ready-made product. It is not something that they have to customize, because now this time, speed is quite crucial for them. They literally want the system now. But the advantage of that is not just for the short term. It is not just to deal with the COVID. There is a long-term usage in there. The system comes with the usual things that we always measure, which is the visitor counting, measuring store performance and all that. And it is compatible with any of the existing monitor. Although we provide those adapters, you know, the mini computers to try to adapt with existing monitors. They also include the web widget. Talking about more additional use cases, these are the metrics that we always measure with all our cameras. This is the visitor count, how many people come into the store, outside traffic, how many are outside. Then turning rate is how many people outside that comes in, visit duration, returning customers, sales conversions, and all that. So for retailers, that they are already using sales conversion rate as their KPI to monitor different store performance. So many retailers now have already installed. So those that have not yet installed, or those that have installed an older technology like a beam counter or an infrared or a 2D camera, now it's probably time for them to upgrade. So they are always, retailers is already wanting that system because they already have a use case for that. This is just a time for them to say, okay, why don't we install it now rather than later in the year? So when they install it now, they have an occupancy system to take care of their COVID social distancing. And then in the long term, they will always have a long-term use case. Supermarkets, apart from the occupancy and footfall counting at the entrance, they can repurpose it for queue counting, heat map, zone tracking. This is all what supermarkets is wanting. They are also using it for queue expectation planning. So for example, what it is like this. So if you do queue counting, you will want to put a camera in each of your tills. Some supermarkets have up to 10, 15 tills, and they open and close the tills depending on demand. So now, because supermarkets, usually they will say that my average customer shopping time is 30 minutes or 45 minutes for that particular stores. So now that they put the camera at the entrance, so they know how many people have come in now. So for example, now I have 50 people coming in. So the store manager can already predict in 30 minutes time, I'm going to have 50 people at my till. So she can pre-plan. So she has all the time of the 30 minutes to plan. In 30 minutes time, I will want to open more tills to cater for that 50 people who are going to be at the till. So this is far more effective than having a queue counting at the till, because you will need a camera per till. Whereas if you're putting it at the entrance, you probably just need the one camera at the one entrance, and you can already do all this prediction. For hospital and office buildings, again, it is not new to them. Many hospitals and many offices have already started installing people counting. But what they use it for is for smart building control, energy consumption control. So for offices, it's like if you don't have people now on the third floor, then you can shut down your air conditioning or your heating or dim your lights. So things like this. And also for facility utilization analysis, we do a lot of this one, is so that they see how is my meeting room being utilized? How is my open office space being utilized? And then they can relay out of their spaces. So these are the long-term use cases they have always been using with a footfall counter anyway. So and these are those organizations that need a COVID occupancy control. There are also other functions. FootfallCam is one camera, the same camera with all these functions. So depending on where they want to put the camera. So for example, you put it at the entrance, obviously for people counting, occupancy counting, and when you put it on the inside, you can do it as a zone alert, zone counting, heat map, CCTV. If you put it at a till, queue counting, things at different. So we have all this. You can also, because the infrastructure is there, you can double up as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So many resellers find it easy to sell, is because with the one camera, so your customers is wanting people counting or this occupancy counting. So they install it at the entrance. And then you tell them you can double it up as a Wi-Fi hotspot. It probably comes it as quite a pleasant surprise, because they may already have been thinking and may already have a budget for to provide Wi-Fi access to their customer. So now then they would think that I don't need to spend that budget on a Cisco Meraki system. You can double this up as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So that again is because of all these added functions. It gives them the peace of mind that you have a future long-term use. There is a future roadmap, and it is a value for money. and the key market segments. So it may be a little different to what you would normally sell your footfall counter to, because now the immediate needs now, because there are the supermarkets that are currently opening. So these supermarkets, usually they do not need sales conversion rate, because everyone who goes into supermarket, usually they will buy something. So now it's probably then it is a footing for you to get into this sector if you don't normally target supermarkets, because now they really would need the occupancy count. Fast food chains. So fast food chains, again, is not someone who is usually would need a people counting, but now they do. Because unlike a restaurant, fast food chains is where people can, it is a small shop, and then you can have a lot of people going in to queue up to take away. So it is very difficult naturally for them to control the crowd. They don't normally need to control crowd, so people just queue up. But now they would need to. A lot of fast food chains that we have been in contact with, and now obviously here in the UK and in many other countries, they are allowed to open, but not people going in there. So they need to order online and they do a delivery. So now when they are slowly wanting to reopen back to the public, they will need to have a system in place. Retail stores, likewise, a lot of retail stores are now closed, but they are going to reopen very soon, but they know that they have to comply with the social distancing regulation, and they probably will be asked to show that, you know, what measures have they put in place. So a lot of retailers are now having to quite stressed of what they can do to put in place, first to be seen as complying with the regulation. The other thing is also to show their staff they are protecting them, because otherwise you might have staff deciding not to come to work because they're too scared of the crowd. So they have all those intention to have to install a system like this. Public venues is also one that have installed a lot. Banks, because they are open. Shopping malls, likewise. Shopping malls is also a special requirement. Now, shopping mall have always been putting in people counting, because they need to justify to their tenants that they have visitors coming in, so that they can justify their rental rates, and they can justify that they are doing a lot of event to try to attract people coming into the mall, to justify it to their tenants. So likewise, here now for shopping malls, they have to justify to their tenants that the mall is putting a control in to control the crowd, to be compliant with the social regulation, social distancing regulation. Government facilities, naturally, they need to be seen almost the first one to put measures in like this in place. We have already done quite a few, like the immigration centers, hospitals, libraries, museums, you know, those local council libraries, governments sponsored museums and all that. So the buying cycle, we find that the key market segments already have immediate high demand. This is very unique. So usually when you have a high demand, it is already a commodity. But because this is an immediate needs, so it has no time to become a commodity yet. So it is still a very high-tech, innovative product. It is not widely available, but there is an immediate high demand, and the demand will last for at least a year. So it's not going to be 2 months. It's not going to just be 3 months. It is something that the customers realize they have to put a measure in place, because this social distancing regulation is there to stay for a year. Unless we have vaccine tomorrow, which we hope we will have, but many businesses are already seeing that this may become a gold standard. That they should put something in place, because you might be able to deal with COVID, but you know, as a community, that we should be prepared for anything unknown in the future. So this is a very unique situation. The target is really be the key decision makers, because usually even with people counting, you probably need to go through the procurement team. There may be a bidding process in place, but whereas with this one, because this is an immediate and it's also high demand, and it's also more is from the top management, where they are planning strategically what they need to put in place. So it's usually, it will be the key decision makers are the top management. As compared to buying anything else, there might be a special team, like a procurement team buying maybe an IT, or maybe the IT team buying an IT product. But this time, the decision makers are the top level. A very short sales cycle. With people counting, we could see a sales cycle that is 3 months, 6 months, even 9 months. Some even take a year before they decide to roll out, and it's a very lengthy one. They usually may then go into a pilot and then a different phase rollout. So that is a very, very common for normal people counting system. But with this, it is very, very fast. We are reporting, all our customers are reporting 2 to 3 weeks. And with all our delivery now is quite stressful for us because usually our delivery is that we get the order in and then we prepare and we send it out the next day. And with our courier service, which is usually good, which takes 3 to 5 days, our resellers and our customers are all very happy that we actually be able to send it within a week. They're very surprised with that. But now we actually have a demand for next day delivery, sometimes to different countries worldwide. So the sales cycle is very, very short. We say 3 weeks, but we have already resellers, their partners coming back to us and then say they have to install it next week. So literally next week, they need to have equipment, they need to do the installation already. So be prepared that you may need your installation team to get ready to be able to do a nationwide deployment in a very short time. It is a good business, but there is also a challenge there. But the good thing about it is a very short sales cycle, and it's and they're not going to go through a bidding process. Usually, they might get a quote around, but it won't be a formal bidding process. And it's a very short deployment, and they will go for a national rollout because they cannot be seen to only install these safety measures in some of the stores, because it will be unfair to there are other employee where some of the stores doesn't have it. So it is a complete national rollout. So we find that the marketing methods, obviously you are expert in your field, you are much better at sales than we are, than myself, obviously. But what I'm wanting to share here is just some experience, what we find the marketing methods that work specifically for this product. Obviously not for everything, but specifically for this product. What we find that really work is actually, we call it a cold email, probably not the correct term, it's cold calling. So cold calling, but using an email instead of a phone call. Now this really works. What we do, or what a lot of our partners are doing, is that you go on Google and search your target sectors. For example, you're searching for a supermarket. When you go on Google, it will tell you all the supermarket brands in your country. And then you go and find a supermarket brand, you find a sales director. You will find it all in LinkedIn or anywhere, their name. So when you find the name of the sales director, operation director, or the CEO, or the marketing managing director, then you kind of like guess the email addresses. So sometimes you might find a person, a different person of the email address. You is usually like first name dot last name at company.com. So usually with that, and then you would then just send the email. We will share with you the template of the email that works. We find that the success rate of them responding is actually more than 11%. So imagine you are just compiling a list of emails that you want to send. You just MailChimp and just send out your email, the same email to all these email addresses. And then you just wait for response from them. You want to reach key decision makers because from them is where they are making the strategic decision. And then when an instructions is coming from their sales director, then whoever is making the purchase will definitely buy, because the directions comes from above. It's much easier to do it that way from top down on there. And the reason why a lot of our partners are finding this really effective is also because the CEOs are waiting to hear from you, because again, this is a very unique situation. We have an immediate high demands. Is all the CEO and directors who are waiting to reopen their stores, they are finding measures, they're finding a solution that could help them reopen their stores. So they are already waiting. If you're not sending the cold emails, your competitors probably will be. And they are waiting to hear. So when your email will really come in a very timely manner that they will respond to. Because this is then obviously is also a very cost-effective way. Because this is a unique, it is a new demand, it's difficult for them to try to find a supplier outside, because it's not it's not a commodity. So they do not already have a vendor that already supply them with that. Their CCTV supplier can't supply them with that. Their security vendor can't supply them with that, or any of those. So they are waiting to hear from you. Then you will conduct the meeting. We will share with you the PowerPoint slides, which you can obviously customize and brand it with your own branding. We will emphasize the speed and ease in deploying this situation. This solution. The speed is key for them, and you may want to set up a web page, one web page in your website, so only just one page in your local language. We will provide you with this reseller media pack that looks like this. Let me find it. So we will share this in an email to you later. So this is the media pack. So it comes with the keywords for that page, the website content, so we have all those tags and the images for you, and any Google Ad keyword suggestion that we are finding have quite a high success rate. You then might want to, so it looks like this with all the text and contents inside. You then might want to translate it to your language, to your own local language for that. This sharing about the sales technique when you then speak to your customers, your potential customers, is that it is them being seen as using a high-tech scientifically driven method. So it's not just cutting costs, it's not just because the security guard is more expensive and this is much, much cheaper. That is obviously one of the selling point, but it's more about being high-tech, being scientifically driven, rather than the man at the door, because your shopper won't trust the man at the door, your staff won't trust the man at the door, because your staff will think that the company has a hidden agenda, because who would stop customer coming in and reduce the sales? So the staff will always think that you're letting too many people in, and the shoppers will always think that it's so empty, why aren't you letting me in and you make me queue up for an hour? So this will reduce all that, because if a system tells you not to enter, people will comply with it. And if the system is telling you're now under your capacity, your staff will be happy with that. So is this digital screen at the door is transparent and cost effective, obviously to comply with the safety regulation. And the widget on the website is a proactive way so that they can influence people to come at different time. This is something what they want to do. So apart from apart from controlling the traffic that is already at the door. So if the customer is already at the door, the only thing that you can do is let them in or not let them in. So the widget is actually, because I think many resellers may not have realized that, but the businesses are really looking into this. The widget is something that is even a higher level. So they are influencing the people before they come to store. Obviously, they're not stopping people coming to store. They're just trying to influence that so that they spread out. Because what the business want is that customers come throughout the day and not just at the peak time. This is key, off the shelf, because they want it. If I buy, when can I have it? I want it tomorrow. So this is obviously what they always want to do. So they want off the shelf, ready to use, high accuracy. I will show you later how we verified it with the proof, and there is a long-term usage. And the project cost is very low for the client compared to the for example, we have casinos, we have leisure centers that they are closed, and many businesses are costing them millions every day of not opening to customers. So this compared to that is a very low cost that they need to install and compared to the urgency and the seriousness of the current situations. So case studies, we are already implementing in 32 government departments in 8 different countries in 121 retailers. For this specific COVID-19, we have obviously installed many already for our people counting system. This is one example. This is a Hong Kong immigration department. So we already installed in their offices. This is because they have lots of people going there to extend their visa. So foreigners still need to extend their visa. The waiting room is usually packed with people, so they need to put something in place. We are highlighting this is so that we can show you the different languages that we can translate into, or rather they translate for us and then we customize it for them. So this is government department. We have museums, you know, they are installing, and also where they usually with where they have crowd that they need to control. Businesses, supermarkets, obviously we have already done so. So in Europe with a German listed company, in USA a supermarket chain. So we are already doing many of them. And these are some of the example. Now, this is one that we have done pre-COVID. This is already last year that we have done. So this is a mosque in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia. It is a holy a pilgrimage area. They have 1.5 million capacity in the venue. That's how many people can be in there, the capacity. And during the peak traffic, that's how many people they have in their building. So with this one, they have to install, I'm trying to zoom in so you can have a look at it better. Sorry, I'm going back. You can't see quite clearly here. So this is something we have already done for them, is for crowd control. So they put cameras at each of their door. So with that, we calculate the occupancy of this area. And then also as they then go in, the occupancy in the inner circle, in the central court, and they have multiple floors. So ground floor, first floor, second floor, and all that, and different parts of the building, the wings and all that. So what they have here is 2 thresholds. The initial threshold usually set at about 60% of your capacity. And then you have a secondary threshold, which usually set about 90% of your capacity. And this is the true capacity, obviously the max capacity. Then anything lower than the first threshold is green. Security doesn't have to worry about it. Anything in between will be yellow. So this is where the security guard can, obviously the manager in the control room can start preparing. Okay, you know, I probably need to start preparing for this entrance number 7. And these are those red. If it's already above 90%, then it is red. This is where security guard should already be at the door and controlling the crowd usually on a 1 out, 1 in basis. So this becomes very effective for them, so that because this is such a big place, they do not know when which area will be overcrowded. So this way is very easy. This one they can start planning. They give this give them time to start planning, and this is where they actually need to have the personnel deployed. So we have already done this. So it is a trial and tested already in the field for doing occupancy crowd control. And this is also the reason why we are able to have it ready to use for this COVID situation. We do have additional information here. We will share this slide at the end of the session. It will then show you some software, which you can then click on it to get those software, get those reports where you can then showcase to your customers when you want to go and do a presentation. I will show you the actual dashboard shortly here. So let's go to that. So this is our software. It is cloud-based. Your customer will then log in with their own password. They will come in and look at the dashboard. It has all those reporting there. So for example, with this live occupancy, they can look at it. It will take some time to load. So while it's loading, I will explain a little. So you will have Analytics Center where they can go and look at, for their regional manager, they want to compare store A and store B, what is the occupancy in the different stores or the footfall at different stores. Company report is usually for top management. Sorry, this particular one is in Dutch. Well, it's a showcase that we can be in different language, but unfortunately I can't read Dutch. So, but I can guess this is a weekly report, daily report, monthly report, marketing effectiveness. So we have all different reporting there. I just want to quickly see that. Okay. So this is loaded. So for this one, this is live dashboard is being updated every second. So you can see that it's moving. This particular store have 3 entrances. Your visitor in and your visitor out. So the in minus the out will give you the occupancy there in your store. So this is what the store manager could see. They could quickly see and see whether or not what the occupancy is. They obviously will know what is their capacity. So now then you have your company level report. I'll show you one, which is in English. So this is for the top management. This is how many visitors throughout their estate, how many people outside that come in, how long they stay in their store, returning rate, their best store, worst store, against if they are a chain, so how are their different stores doing. Then they have visitor count by month, by week, by day. Compared to last year, has it improved? You have outside traffic. So this one is, sorry, I'm going down. This is outside traffic, how many people are outside, and this is how many people are coming in. So you will see that actually there is still opportunity there. The traffic is still quite out there, still quite high out there, but people are not coming in. The store manager might say that, okay, why don't we go out and show some sample, give out some sample or give out some leaflets. So things like this, that is there where they can see where their opportunity is. So you have things like visit duration, again, in the pie chart, people who stay for a short time, medium time, this is one that is very long, more than 30 minutes. You can have returning customers. So for this particular one, for this particular business, the returning rate is 17%. So they can see how they can improve it. They can say, okay, this week compared to last week, we have improved our loyalty, or we are attracting more new customers, things like this. Sales conversion. They have marketing effectiveness report. So this is for their marketing department. So they can see if they have a campaign, the start and end time of the campaign, they can see how is their footfall before, during, and after the campaign, and whether or not that campaign affects their visit duration, returning customers, and sales conversion. So they have all the other operating reports as well. So all these are inclusive. These are pre-built. So they will get it already, even if they just install the one camera. So footfall to staff ratio, when you are okay with your staff, when you're understaffed, when you're overstaffed, and how is that affecting your cost and your missed opportunity. And this is staff planning for coming weeks. This is prediction. So you're predicting that this week on a Monday morning, you need 1 team, and later you need 2 teams, and this is the time you need 3 teams of staff. Zone analytic. Zone analytic is more for shopping mall, or now we have for offices and also for campuses. So for example, universities where they have a campus across building. So they want to see the zone, if people come in here, which are the zones that are more busy, or departmental stores, you know, where do people go into ladies wear and then menswear and then children's wear, things like this. And then where they come in. So they come into the entrance, do they then go to, so 30% of them goes to this corridor, and then after that, where do they go to? Heat map, so hot zone, cold zone. This is something for offices. So offices, this is the occupancy. And this is also what the occupancy people are looking now. So occupancy, like, you know, my different rooms, or my different entrance, different area section, and this is the room. So this will obviously need a lot more cameras on the inside. So apart from supermarkets that need occupancy tracking now, offices likewise will need to do that. So they would want to see, like for example, this is max capacity. They will want to have a screen at the outside of the door so people do not go in, or they usually have a screen per floor. So their employee can choose which room they want to go in. So they probably should be going into this other room because it's underutilized. This is completely empty. So they should be utilizing that. Lecture hall. So apart from COVID, occupancy control, obviously in the future for offices, this is where they want to see their facility utilization. If this is always 50, this is really underutilized. They probably can split the lecture hall into 2 smaller ones. And for cafeteria, canteen, we have a lot where they have campuses, factory, big offices where they have a big campus, and then they have like community area where the cafeteria and all that. So they have always been using our widget. Again, our widget is not new, it's something that have already been used. So offices are using it, putting in the internal website, so that they're using it to stagger their employees' lunchtime. So they don't want everyone to come down at 12:30. So they are providing that so that the employee can look on their own internal site to see how is the queue. So because we do queue counting, so they see the queue at the buffet, and also, you know, what is the occupancy? So even if they come down the queue, will they have a seat to sit down and eat? So these are the things that we have already been using our widget. We obviously have all the other type of reporting that are already available with that. Now I want to talk about verification. So we say we guarantee your accuracy. Many manufacturers of people counting, they will always say that their accuracy is above 95%, some say 98% and all that. But how are you, so we don't just claim it. What we do is we actually tune it for you. So we do the configuration for you, and then we record a video. So for example, this is recorded a half-an-hour video, and we do a manual counting for you. So we actually have a verification team that do that. This is an inclusive service. Many of you realize, obviously, that when you purchase it, we do that for you. So combining a few videos, so the video looks like this. So in here, so the video looks like this. So you can play that. If I speed that out, you probably see some action. So we record the video. So it is very transparent. You can watch the video, your customer can watch the video, they can do their counting. They can sit down there and watch the 30 minutes video and do the actual counting to count. So this actually then, because then they will, if I stop that a little, if you notice the number there, that is the height of the person on there. So then you will have your verification report. So we say the combining a few video, we have counted 119. The system has only counted 116 because the system count is already on your reports. So you can cross-check that. So the difference is 3. Hence, the accuracy is only 97%. So this is then verified. You can provide this report to your customer. And if your customers at any time doubt the accuracy, they can record a video and cross-check that at any time. So with this, we have already replaced a lot of other brands because they do not have a way to cross-check that. So this is verification. So we do that for you every single installation. I want to show you here. I'm just going to in here, I would also want to show you, because we are a enterprise level software, so we take care of maintenance, health check for you. So for example, in here, you will have an issue tracker. All your branch or your cameras are there. So it will have an indicator light. So blue light means everything is connected, everything is counting. You can look at your verification report. You can schedule a video anytime if you want to cross-check the accuracy. Any system error will be displayed here. If the customer wants to log a support ticket, they can type it here. We will feedback here. So this is where something to make it easy for you as well to support your customer. So you may want to be charging a support contract to your customer. So then you have the tools to support your customer. Now then, we also take care of the data integrity. So this is health check. So we check that the camera is online, is counting, and the data actually goes into the server. So in here, you will see that how many sites you have, how many counters you have, and of those, how many data are okay. So 122 sites. Now you do have something that is offline. So for example, 6 sites are offline. So why are they offline? So you will have the reason here. So they are pending customer feedback. So usually things would be like they are closed for refurbishment. So the counters is disconnected, things like this. So whatever that is, it will be there. The alert will be sent to you or whoever is taking care of the support of the maintenance. So it can be sent to the IT team of the customer, or obviously yourself if you're providing them with the support service. Any accuracy issue will be here. Is there any tuning? So this is the one that checks that the camera is actually up and running and connected. Now we also have another check that is on data integrity, because now you have data, but can your data be trusted? Is your data good enough to use? So where we say, we usually say if your store is closed at night, so how many people come in, they should go out at the end of the day. So you should have a discrepancy of less than 5% between your in and out count. So because we never guarantee 100%, it's difficult with any computer system, but because we say we are 95% and above, so you want to see a discrepancy of less than 5%. With this one is actually 0.07%. So this is 1.4% discrepancy. So you will have that is all there for you to see, for your customers to see. And we also have different measures in place. We will obviously train you on how to look at this so that we will see whether or not you have an unusual spike or any pattern that suggests an abnormal data. So, and also here we have a historical snapshot of how your camera looks like. This is the left lens, the right lens, and this is the settings. So this will then show you whether or not the camera has been bumped out of its usual angle, or you have a bunch of balloon there that is blocking the camera view, or you have dangling sales banner that is affecting the counting. So with all this, then you have all these tools for you to very easily maintain it. Again, if there's any abnormality here, an alert will be sent to the person in charge. We also have all these settings there where they can, your customers can add users, import data, export data, and all that. So this is a true enterprise level software in that, and it is included and is inclusive and is on our cloud. If your customers need to install it onto their own server, we can provide that service as well. Now then, going back to here, so something about our hardware. So many of you probably are already familiar with our system, but just briefly for you to know a bit more our hardware, it is a real-time occupancy counting. It's bi-directional with higher than 95% accuracy. We can do staff exclusion, so we provide a badge. So so the staff will wear a badge on their chest so that they can exclude the staff from counting for the occupancy. Now, not all businesses want to exclude staff because staff member is still part of the occupancy. So there are still a person inside the building. So they might want to, a lot of them, they do want to include them. So then you don't have to worry about staff exclusion. But some, they do want to exclude their staff, and then so they can wear a badge, and then we will not count them. So we also count all the other metrics. As we mentioned about, we have the Wi-Fi tracking, which we mentioned about with all the additional metrics that we can count. It does do heat map and queue counting. The other thing I want to draw you just very briefly on our hardware superiority. That's where a few design that we have put in to make it maintenance free. So make it as maintenance free as possible. This is, you notice our device is metal. We're actually having a metal casing as compared to a lot of other cameras out there, because usually cameras come with a plastic casing because obviously it's more cost savings with plastic, and they obviously can do a bit more fancy looking plastic mold than metal. So our design is a little bit on the engineering side rather than on the aesthetic side, although it does look very sleek and slim, and it's a white device up there. It's a very quality made. So when your customers see that, they will know that although your price may be more favorable or more reasonable than any of your competitor, but they will see that you're actually putting a very quality equipment out there, because it is metal. It is a bit more expensive for us on our cost, but the benefit of it really outweighs it. The main reason for metal is actually the heat dissipation. This is heat dissipation. We are having a full computer in there. It is actually like a laptop. Your laptop is not having a plastic casing. Your laptop is metal. The reason why it's metal is to dissipate heat from your CPU. So it is very important as more heat is being able to get out of your CPU can function a lot more longer. You know, if you're maintaining the ideal temperature for the CPU, it will go very fast, it will go very long without you having to do any reboot. And especially for people counting camera, you're installing on the ceiling. You want to forget about it after you have installed. You don't want to be called by your store, by your customers to say the device has hung and you have to reboot it. So this is where we put it in. Our mean time to failure is 25 years. Just because we have, it is one of the measures that we put in there, which is having a metal casing. The other one is also to reduce maintenance greatly, is the triple redundancy that we put in. This is operating system. Your laptop have one operating system, so does your iPhone, your tablet, your smartphone, all your devices are all having one operating system. So when your computer hangs, what you do is that you reboot it. It's not a problem, not a big deal, because you're always with your computer. But when you have your camera on the ceiling, you don't want to do the rebooting. So what we put in is we put in extra 2 operating systems. So you always have 3 operating systems running in this computer inside. So when one hangs, then the second one will be the one which is counting, and it also sends command to the first one to reboot. So you don't actually have to go and reboot it. The second OS will do that. And then the third OS will still be a backup, so that in a very unlikely event that the second also hang, then you have the third one. So in the meantime, then the first one will reboot, and then you will back to a stage of all three OS operating in a triple redundancy condition. So these are the technical advancement that we have put in there for you. I have got a bit more detail about the analytics software, the data sheet and all that. Something quickly, very quickly about us. We are a manufacturer. We manufacture the hardware. It comes with the software platform. We're based in the UK. We also have an office in in Asia. We are present in 128 countries since 2002 with our partners. So we do have over 800 partners worldwide. We have manufactured more than 500,000 and we have about 32% of the market share. Now, most importantly, we do have a big team that can support you during your installation. We support for pre-sales as well. So we do sales support. We have helped many partners to submit their RFQ into a bidding process, because an RFQ can be a proper formal bidding process, can be a very lengthy process, and needs a lot of technical information. So we will support you with that. We supply you with that. That is if you need to go into the bidding process. But it is unusual for this COVID-19 because we already have many deployed without a bidding. We haven't gone into a bidding process yet for this COVID-19, but we do support you there. And during your installation, we support your installers for that. And also, obviously, after sales as well. We support your customers directly if they needed customization for their reports, or if they need the integration. So this is the end of my presentation. I will stop my recording now, so that if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If